welcome to my channel. My name is Roxy. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead, subscribe, go get you some coffee, some tea, and let's get into this video. So I typically make planner, organization, journaling videos. I wanted to branch out a little bit this year and share something that has always been like a really big interest of mine, which is reading. If you are not new to my channel, then you know that I start my journals over in October and I make goals for my year in October, which is when my birthday is. But this year I made some New Year's Day resolutions. So my resolutions were to, one, actually this is not even the order. The first order, one was to fall in love with books again, because I used to read so heavily, and then once I got to college and then grad school, like reading became so tedious that I stopped reading as much as I had. So over the past few years, I've been trying to get back into reading for pleasure. And if you watched one of my last videos, you'll know that I bought my baby, my Kindle, so that I could read more on the go. So it's definitely helped a lot. I am going to share videos that I read in December in this video, as well as my reading goals and all of that. So I have started reading more, so that is one of my resolutions, just to fall back in love with reading. And then my second one is to make more consistent YouTube content. This is my journal, by the way. If you haven't watched any of my journaling videos, then I will link one below or above. I'll link a video. This is my baby. This is my journal. This is an A6thology and I love it. So I'm tracking my reading in here. I'm tracking my reading in here and in my personal size planner, which is this baby. Okay. With that being said, I want to start making more videos about books and reading and what I've been reading and my thoughts and opinions, my to be read, my books I've read, what I'm interested in, all of that. So this is the first video in that series. I got my Kindle for Black Friday, and from there I just hit the ground running with reading. So I think I've already talked about some of the books I read during not Black Friday, but during December. And the first book was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have not read the Harry Potter books before. This is my first time, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know like Harry Potter, pretty much everyone has read Harry Potter. Like I was probably the 10% of people in the world who had not read it before. I thought it was a really amazing book, and I can see why people are so like in love with this character, this plot. I could see it. I can't wait to read the rest of the series. I've only read the first book and I watched a bit of the first movie, but Netflix takes those movies down so quickly. Like they go up and come back down. I've tried to watch the first one like 3 times. So hopefully at some point I can actually make it through, but it was such a good book. I'm a social worker, so looking at this from a social work perspective, or perspective from like children who have been in the system and things like that, and learning about their selves and their families and all of that, like there's so much that can be taken away from these books, and I just can't wait to read the next ones. Moving on, I tracked my books in here. The next book I read was He Restores My Soul, and that book is by LaShonda Bowman. This is actually a reread, and I don't typically reread books that often. I actually read this book just like a year or 2 ago, and I loved it. The book is about 3 sisters, and it starts off with them being at their mother's funeral. Their mother is a very famous gospel singer, and the world praises her for how good, all the good that she does for other people, and just how amazing she is. However, she was not the best mom. She would physically and verbally abuse her children. She would lock them in rooms, lock them in boxes, and it's just about them overcoming the effects of their childhood, because they definitely, especially one of the sisters, experienced a lot of hardships coming from that situation. I think she was the youngest, but yeah, so there are 3 books in this series. It's a very sad story. This book does have religious undertones, so just be aware of that. And I really love it. I thought it was a really good book. I could not wait to read the second one, and I could not find it. I couldn't find the second book anywhere. So finally, when I got my Kindle, I decided to check Amazon again, and they had the other 2 books. They're pretty cheap. I think the books were like $2.99. So I got all 3 books in the series, and I reread He Restores My Soul. And then I read the second book, which is Then Sings My Soul. And this book kind of was like where everything was starting to fall into place, and then at the end there's this big traumatic event. So that's where I am now. I've read the second book. I have not read the third book. And what is the third book called? Let me just check to see what the third book is called. My Soul is Satisfied. So the third book is called My Soul is Satisfied. I don't know if I'll read that book this month. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break because I read books 1 and 2, and I like to just hold on to characters. Like, I don't know, one of my reading goals for this year is to read more books with like sequels. I want to hold on to these characters for a little bit. So I don't know if I'll start the third book this month, but probably in February I will go ahead and read it. Those are my books. Harry Potter, I of course give well, I rate my books. So let's talk about how I rate books. I rate books on a 10-star scale because I just feel like 5 stars is not enough for me to really decide. On Goodreads, I typically don't rate books unless I'm giving it 5 stars. Just because I'm not giving the book 5 stars doesn't mean I don't love the book. Doesn't mean it's not a great book. But if it's not 5 stars, I typically won't rate it. But for my own ratings, my personal ratings, I rate on a 10-star scale. I guess I rate it on 10 stars and then it kind of goes down to a 5-star. I don't know if that makes sense. I might make a video on how I read my books, like my book journaling. I think I'm gonna do a video on that, so it'll make a little more sense. But I'll say Harry Potter was like a 10-star book, which you can translate to a 5-star rating. And then He Restores My Soul, I thought was really good. I would give it 10 stars or 5 stars. It really drew me in. I got attached to the characters. I wanted to know more about what was coming next. Then Sings My Soul, I gave 9 stars, which I guess is 4.5 stars. And it kind of, I don't know, it just seemed like everything was falling into place. But that last little page, that last page was like, boom. No, you gotta read the next book. They were all really good books, and I'm excited. So my reading goals. So my goal on Goodreads, and if you want to add me on Goodreads, I'll try to link it below. It's just my name on here, Roxy Vega. And feel free to add me. I love to see what you are reading. I would love to share what I'm reading and all of that. My goal last year, I think, was like 2 books. And I read 4. And like I mentioned in my last video, I read 3 of those books the last like month of the year. So I read 3 of them, these books right here, in December. My goal this year is 25, just because I feel like I can read a little more this year. I feel like with my Kindle, and I finally got the Libby app, so I'm checking books out from my library since they're closed right now. And I just got my first audiobook, and I'm super excited to just be able to read more and to switch back and forth between reading physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks. So excited. I want to try to read 25 books this year. And like I said, I want to read more books with sequels just so I can get to know more about characters and just hold on to them a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. My to be read. So the books I plan to read in January are The Coldest, or is it? Yeah, January. Woo! In January. Happy New Year, you guys. The books I plan to read in January are The Coldest Winter Ever, because I've never read that book. And I know it's a classic, and I know the sequel is coming out. So I am so excited to go ahead and finally read this book. The next book is Little Fires Everywhere, which is the book that I just got an audiobook. And I am excited I had to grab my iPad because I have the books on here. So the next book is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I have seen this book so many times in bookstores. The cover is beautiful. And so like it just draws you in, the cover itself. So I cannot wait to read this book. And then I don't know if I'll get to a fourth book, but if I do, I got Homegoing by Giassi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me know in the comments. But those are the 4 books that I have planned to read. I also got The Vanishing Half by Brett Bennett, so I don't know if I will get to all of these books. Some of them might be pushed to February. Also, I am super excited about Concrete Rose. That is the book that I cannot wait to buy, and I might buy a physical copy. I don't typically buy physical copies of books, but I really love The Hate U Give, so I will probably buy Concrete Rose in a physical copy. But that'll be like a February read. I think it comes out the 15th, I want to say. I might be wrong, but I feel like it's the 15th. But I don't think that'll be enough time for me to finish these books and start that one. So I think I'm going to save that one for my February to be read. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you come on this journey with me. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Let me know what you are planning to read this month and what your reading goals are for this year. Oh my gosh, I'm excited, you guys. But yeah, let me know below what your reading goals are for this year. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.